Okay, students, so now we're here. We're going to practice identifying inverse, converse, contrapositive, and biconditional statements. So we have this statement right here. If a dog is a good boy, then he gets lots of treats. So just to visualize what this means, here's a video of my dog doing all kinds of tricks. All right, this is when he was a puppy. He's a little bit older now. Look how small he was. He's like 80 pounds now. But you gotta tell him a lot of times before he does it. He was just learning new things. Look at him like, oh, so good. And look, he's shaking. He can sit up. He can stick him up. Oh, such a good boy. He knows roll over. He knows other things. But he won't do any treats or tricks unless you give him treats. So, anyways, let's focus on the math. If a dog is not a good boy, then he won't get a lot of treats. So notice how this one, same order, but we have the knots. So this one is inverse. All right, so we can think inverse, knots. All the knots. They both sound like they start with an N. All right, now what do we got going on here? If a dog gets a lot of treats, then he is a good boy. So this one, no knots, but we swap the order. So this is converse. Shoes on, wrong, feet. All right. If a dog doesn't get a lot of treats, then he is not a good boy. So again, time out. From the original statement, our original conditional statement, the order is swapped, but then there's some knots. So we swapped the order, we did the converse, we did the inverse. That's a lot of work. The most work requires the most letters. Most work, most letters, and contrapositive. Alright, so kind of going in order here. That's okay, though. And then, in my humble opinion, biconditional is the easiest one to identify because it's the only one with if and only if. That should be a dead giveaway that it's the biconditional. A dog is a good boy if and only if he gets a lot of treats. And then determine the logically equivalent. So remember, a lot of times, not all the times, but a lot of times when we see logically equivalent, it basically means which one's the contrapositive. Because whatever, if you remember, if the conditional statement is true, the contrapositive has to be true as well. They're always the same truth value. Same thing, they're either both true or both false. So if two angles are vertical, then they are congruent. So we need to swap the order and put knots. So if two angles are not vertical, then they are not congruent. Well, that's the inverse right there, because we didn't swap the order. So that one's out. If two angles are not congruent, then they are not vertical. Ding, ding, ding. I already found it at B. All right, this is the contrapositive. So we're good. We figured it out. Hooray. So excited. This might be the best day of my life. All right. Now, what you're going to do is you can try to do this by yourself. That's totally cool. But we have this this Quizlet right here. Do these problems. You can use the Quizlets for helps. You're going to be putting things in converse, inverse, contrapositive, so on and so forth. We have this to help us out. You can split screen with this, but you just tap it, make sure you're logged in, so on and so forth. It's going to help you complete the following. Then when we go back, remember you got to write all this out. We got some follow-up Canvas problems for you to do. All right, enjoy it, have fun, do your best, make sure you do everything, and have a good rest of your day.